research process ni, kita kenapa kita panggil process? Why is it called process? Because we need to do it step by step, okay? Step by step. So you basically you do your literature review, okay, you find your theories, then you have your research question, then you start to think about your sampling, then you, when you already have your sampling, no, your method first, okay, what type of method data collection you will be using, then you will thinking about sampling, and then you collect your data, analyze the data, write up, then it's actually finished. Okay, so it's a process. Okay, all right. So as I mentioned for last week, literature review is the first step lah you want to do. Okay, the first step you have to do in your research. Tapi ada juga orang buat terbalik ke. Okay, contohnya kualitatif. Kualitatif dia akan buat simple literature lah. A simple literature review, and then they do analyze, they collect data, interview and so on, and then they will get some new theory kan. They'll get new theory. New theory tu then they will have to back up with literature lagi lah. So that's why dia punya tu lain sikit, tak macam ni. Yang ni adalah normal quantitative punya proses. Okay? Tak nampak. So, for literature review, okay, for literature review, there are two methods. Okay, two methods that are being used, okay, by researcher. Okay, the first one is the traditional method. Okay, traditional method, which means that you do your literature traditionally lah. You go and dig until 1960, 1930 punya literature kan dan sebagainya, dan you buat literature. Okay, yang tu biasa kan? Okay, yang traditional method tu lah, tak kira lah. Okay, the other one is systematic literature review, so which is done systematically. Okay, SLR lah, SLR. Alright, so SLR ni, the search is actually based on keywords. Okay, keywords. So for example, your research is topic is actually, let's say, financial scammer ke, okay, financial scams in Malaysia. So you will try to do a keyword search of financial scams, kan? So if you do that keyword, okay, you will have, for example, quite a number of I call it search, okay, or documents, maybe 500,000 ke 300,000, okay, documents. But as a human, we cannot actually go through all these 500 documents, kan, betul tak? So what we do is that, okay, from the SLR of a general search of financial scams, so you will actually look, okay, a very specific search, okay, specific search, more specific. So but in our SLR, we will actually mention financial scam, okay, we will come out with 500,000 documents. Okay, for example, you are using Google Scholar, then you will use also maybe EBSCOs or maybe Scopus and so on, right? So there will be different database. Okay, and then you try to make it more specific. Let's say I'm going to use a very simple example: financial scams in Malaysia using the string. Okay, the strings which is the Boolean search, because when we use that SLR, it will be dealing with Boolean search. Okay, the Boolean search tu maksudnya dia akan Booleankan semua lah, financial scams. Okay, in pun ada, Malaysia pun ada. So dia akan guna Boolean. So untuk you master the skill of how to reduce, okay, the numbers to really highlighting the keyword search. For example, you want to use only financial scams in Malaysia. So kita boleh pakai apostrophe tu. Okay, open apostrophe and also close apostrophe, so that the keyword, okay, is actually exactly financial scams in Malaysia. So the number might decrease from 500,000 to maybe 100 or to maybe 1,000 ke 100 ke, kan? Kalau it's very specific, it will be very small lah, the number of documents. So that is one way of how we are going to look based on keywords. Another way is that we will be limiting our search, okay, for several years. For example, from 2017 until 2022 only, so which is 5 years. Okay, so here, okay, you will see that the numbers of documents that you need to discuss in your thesis will not that be very big as compared to the traditional method. Traditional method, maybe you have to look at that, macam banyak kan. So, okay, right? So when you do that SO, maybe from 1,000, it become 50 articles only. Okay, 50 articles only. Okay, maybe 20 articles in Scopus, 20 articles in Google Scholar, then another 10 articles in WAS. Okay, so so you will have 50 articles as your cut-off. Okay, your cut-off, or the number of articles that you want to really drill, okay, for your thesis. So these 50 articles, okay, you need to drill lah. You need to make sure you read from front to end, okay, and then you understand the article. So you are saying that you have actually covered the literature systematically for 5 years, from 2017 until 2022, and then using the keywords that you have chosen just now. All right. Now, what would be the suggestion? Okay, the question is that, should I use the traditional method or should I use the systematic literature review? Right. Okay, the answer okay, of that question is yes. It depends. Okay, yes and no. It depends. Now, as a PhD student, for example, as a PhD student, you want to know, you'll be the master or the king of, or the queen of your thesis. So you need to know the matter, okay, at hand in depth. Okay, so my suggestion is that, okay, for a PhD student, do not actually rely 100% on the SLR, because SLR is very simple. Okay, you can actually focus only on these 50 articles only, right? But as a PhD student, okay, for example, okay, you need to have the knowledge of the early research, okay, in 1930s, the origin of the theory, okay, and then it actually the developed, okay, from the single theory to become more complicated theories until now, right? So if you are doing your PhD, okay, you can actually use SLR, but at the same time you must also use the traditional method, which is going back to 1930s, just to get the feeling of what you call it, the origin of the knowledge that being studied. Okay, so if we look at this, okay, what I call it, the application of SLR or the traditional method. Okay, when you look at SLR, there are so many methods in SLR itself. Okay, so if me myself, I'm using my own, what I call it, methods. Okay, in SLR, there is no name, but because I did my PhD in 2009, so it was about 10 years ago. Kan, hampir lah. Lama juga So, and then after that, there are a lot of other, what you call it, SLR methods evolved, okay, in the academic industry. Okay, even though I didn't actually use their methods, but there are Prisma, Roses, and many more. Okay, so you might want to see how they do it. Okay, because from my time, we only do the search, and then what we do is that we do searching, and then we find the cut over, then we synthesize it, and then we conclude lah. So there is no actually like a method. Okay, example using Prisma method ke ataupun Roses ke, kan. So method yang saya guna tu sama je dengan dia orang tu, cuma mungkin dia orang dah upgrade, okay, and then they name, okay, the SLR method tu. Okay, now you might be asking, okay, Dr. Adli is talking about PhD, whatever. I'm not doing my PhD, right? So I'm just giving some ideas, okay, if you want to pursue. And if you look at the what I call it, the applied, or what I call it, the applied business research, normally literature review, we need it to be short. So SLR is the best for the applied business research, which means that you do the keyword search, and then you look at the time frame, okay, the time frame of the research, which is mostly applied business research is actually the current situation, okay, the current one. So you might want to see what is actually considered as current, whether it's 3 years or maybe 2 years or 1 year. So from there you can actually use the literatures or the documents that has been published within the 2 or 3 years. So SLR is actually more applicable, more suitable for applied business research. Okay, because the industry, they want it fast. They don't want to see what is happening in the 1930s or 1800 or whatever, right? So what they want to know is now. Okay, so applied, okay, I would suggest you to use SLRS, systematic literature review. Okay, now we have I've been talking for about 20 minutes for literature review. Okay, any question so far?
Doktor, maksudnya SLR tu dia ada macam apps ke website ke maksudnya?
Tak, dia tak ada website. Dia sebenarnya cara kaedah kita, we select our articles, journals, reference. So it's a method how we want to.
Ada guideline dia lah.
Yeah. So altogether, for example, after we did the SLR, we did the keyword search tu, only 50 articles yang kita akan scrutinize. Okay, macam saya tadi lah, from front to end. Okay, and then we want to see what are the themes yang keluar daripada 50 articles tu. What are the themes? So bila kita dapat themes tu nanti, we will see, because basically literature review, why you need to do the literature review is you want to find a gap, kan? You want to find the literature gap. What are people researchers are not doing, okay, at the moment, and what are they suggest that they want to do, and you want to fill the literature gap, kan? Selalunya literature gap tu. So that's why SLR ni dia macam cara dia lah. Maksudnya you don't have to find macam yang traditional method tu daripada tahun 30, 40, 50, 60 kan. So boleh buat macam tu juga. Boleh juga buat macam tu. Itu depends on your supervisor lah. Okay, if you are supervisor, a traditional man, okay, woman, so he might want or she might want you to do or to talk about your literature in term of chronology of historical chronology, kan? Start from siapa sampailah sekarang. Okay, chronological. Tapi kalau your supervisors is actually okay with the latest punya literature, okay, then it's okay lah. So you can use SLR. Alright, it's only a method, okay, of how you can derive the number of articles that you want to study. Okay, you want to exclude papers which are not related to your study. So you are really focused to the topics that of your study lah. So that is SLR. Good question. Okay, anyone else want to ask?
Maksudnya yang Prisma dengan Roses tu, they have their different method.
Ya, sebenarnya sama je. Overall dia sama. Cuma dia mungkin beza sikit-sikit lah macam tu. Adalah beza sikit je. Satu pakai skirt, satu pakai tudung macam tu lah. Satu pakai skirt, satu pakai baju kurung. Macam tu. Contoh.
Oh, okay.
Tapi sama perempuan. Macam tu. Okay, so dia ada beza sikit je. Dari segi kalau contohnya macam saya ada empat saya search, and then kita ada apa, saya pun lupa dah, kejap ini okey, ini contoh saya buka okey. Silap. Oh, dia tak ada buka macam tu Oh, tak. Dia tak. Kejap dia kena stop sharing dulu. Stop sharing dulu. Okay, and then saya buka ini. Okay, contoh kalau kita tengok, okay, ini saya punya style dan juga saya compare dengan rakan-rakan saya lah. Kita ada buat research tentang consumer behavior, tentang kelakuan apa ni consumer masa pandemik COVID-19. Okay. 1 bulan 3. Okay ni. Okay, kalau kita tengok contoh, okay, kalau you tengok saya punya SLR. Okay, saya punya SLR berbeza dengan rakan-rakan saya. Rakan-rakan saya
Doktor dah share ke? Sebab tak nampak.
Belum. Saya baik
belum.
Kalau tak saya ingatkan saya dah share. Okay. Okay, yang ni saya tak buat macam ni lah. Saya buat full screen. Okay. Okay, ini contoh. Okay, kalau you tengok, yang ni saya buat chapter ni. Okay. Chapter ni ialah menggunakan SLR. Okay. So, apa yang saya buat, bukan chapter ni. Okay, systematic literature review of financial vulnerability. Okay, ni saya. Okay. Okay, so apa yang saya saya akan pergi tengok search dulu. First stage searching. Okay, so saya search nama keyword saya financial and vulnerability. Lepas tu ada financial vulnerability, lepas tu consumer and financial vulnerability. So dia adalah dia punya scopus. Kalau letak financial and vulnerability, because Boolean search kan, saya nampak 2258. Kalau sign direct 18,418. ProQuest 1,261. Tapi bila saya buang N tu jadi financial vulnerability satu ayat, kan, satu key search tu, dia berkurang lah. 155 sebab apa? N ni dah hilang. Ni 155, 414 dengan 42. Okay, lepas tu kalau saya campur pula consumer and financial vulnerability, okay, dia jadi 15, 6 dan 14. So total kalau kita ambil yang ni saja, consumer dan financial vulnerability. Sebab financial vulnerability dia banyak. Tapi saya nak target kepada consumer punya financial vulnerability kan. So dia akan ada berapa artikel ni? Ada 35 artikel. Okay, 35 artikel je yang perlu saya go in depth sebab dia kena mengena dengan consumer dan dia kena mengena dengan financial vulnerability. So first stage is searching. Ni saya search. Okay, saya search. Lepas tu saya screen. Okay, saya screen iaitu daripada 35 artikel tu dia jadi 23 je. Okay, 23 sebab ada duplication. Sebab apa? Yang ni mungkin dia masuk kat sini. Yang ni mungkin masuk kat sini. Kan? So dia duplicate antara satu database ni dengan database lain. So all together it become 23 papers. Nampak? Faham tak?
Doktor search satu-satu artikel tu kira manual ke? Kan ada dia punya
Pakai library lah.
pakai library itulah.
Pakai Scopus, pakai Sign Direct ni semua database, ProQuest.
Oh, diorang akan provide lah. Kita just masuk keyword tu nanti dia akan keluar berapa search tu.
Kalau you pergi ke Scopus dia akan keluar lah.
Oh.
You kena pergi ke Sign Direct, ke library semuanya. Ini ke library, ini kena belajar lah. This is a skill. Okay, so kalau dekat library kita ada Scopus, Sign Direct ada, ProQuest pun ada. Kalau library kita lah, library universiti lain pun ada juga. Tapi kalau you ada, kalau you langgan sendiri pun boleh juga. Okay, kalau ke library kita, contohnya, you pergi kat library. Library Rusing kan. Rusing library ni. Okay, so dia ada dia panggil apa lah. Ni kot. Okay, mana? Dah lama saya tak ngecek ni. Sekejap, online database lah ni. Okay, you kena masuk lah. You punya ni. Okay, contoh saya try dah. Salah. Pakai apa saya punya? Metric number, staff number. Incorrect. Sekejap Password banyak sangat, kan? Tak lagi juga. Ayuh. Saya salah masuk ni. Oh, terlebih. Tak juga. Kena ada S, saya tak ingat lah. Kena ada S ke? You all kalau masuk ni kena ada S ke?
Tak ya.
Okay. Oh, okay. Boleh masuk lah. So, contoh you nak tengok Scopus. Okay, pergi Scopus. Pergi Scopus, buka Scopus, okay. Then you type lah. Okay, contohnya tadi kita type financial vulnerability kan. So type. Okay, search with abstract title, abstract keywords kan dan sebagainya. Search document, consumer and financial vulnerability. Probability. Okey, ni saya tunjukkan contoh dulu kalau ni tanpa quotation. Tanpa quotation, okay, dia akan keluar sini 254. Nampak?
Oh, macam ni. Okey.
So, you akan dapat all this article. Tapi ini cara dia. Okey, lepas tu kalau kita contohnya pakaikan quotation. Okay, quotation tu maksudnya kita nak this exact word, kan? Consumer and financial vulnerability. So dia akan keluar no document find. Okey, itu maksudnya dia tak ada langsung lah. Okey, tapi kat sini maksudnya hari tu saya tak pakai lah ni. Consumer and financial vulnerability. Okey, kalau kita tengok sekarang ni dah ada 254. Kalau dulu saya buat hanya ada 15. Okey, nampak? So sekarang ni dah ada 254. Tapi kita tengok dulu, saya hari tu last 5 years, okey. Last 5 years, so dekat sini saya kena select lah 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contohlah okay. So limit tu. Okay. So limit tu so akan jadi berapa? 105. So banyak dah. Daripada 15 dah jadi 105 sekarang. Nampak tak?
Nampak. Faham?
So yang ni artikel ni patutnya kalau dalam saya punya ni kalau kita baru tulis, so ni jadi 105. Okey. 105 dah, bukan 15 lagi lah. Okey. Tapi dulu yang masa saya buat tu 35 saja. Okey, 35 paper saja cut off dia. So sekarang ni ramai orang dah menulis. Okey, so many people have chosen the title ni. Okay, so and then screening. So screen tu sebab ya, ada yang dalam Scopus ni mungkin kita search sign direct, dia pun termasuk. So that's why kita kena screen. Okay, lagi satu ada certain papers tu memang kita type consumer and financial vulnerability, tapi dia keluar tak apa-apa paper yang lain, tak kena mengena pun dengan kita punya topik. Okay, so that's why we do screening. So bila kalau dalam konteks saya ni, saya dah tinggal 23 paper je. And then lepas tu kita buat mapping. So these 23 papers we map lah. Map tu saya buat macam ni lah. Saya mapkan dia. Paper-paper tu saya mapkan dia ikut tema-tema dia. Ada yang pasal health, ada psikologi, ada yang buat pasal measures dia, socio-economic factors, ada yang buat financial literacy, ada yang buat consumer growth. So we map all the papers okay, according to the theme. Sebab tu you kena baca apa yang dia cerita tu. Okay, so lepas you map, okay, barulah you synthesize. Okay. Okay. Synthesizing tadi tu, you cerita balik lah. Dalam socio-economic factor, apa dia? Kan? Yang ini buat macam literature biasalah yang kita buat. Okay. Lepas tu financial literacy, apa cerita dia? Okay. Financial literacy yang ni. Okay. Ada beberapa paper. Consumer credit growth apa? Siapa dia? So you akan synthesize kat sini. Okay. So ada tak gap dia? Literature gap dia kat sini yang you jumpa. Yang you boleh apa ni. Okay. Jadi contoh ni saya punya style ada 4 stages of SLR. Tapi kalau ikutkan saya punya team member yang lain, dia pakai Prisma, nampak? Okay, Prisma pula, okay, ini ialah Wan Rashidah. Dia team member saya jugalah. Okay, Prisma method dia ada 4. Pertama, identification. Sama je. Macam saya tadi, searching kan? Searching dia identification. Lepas tu screening. Okay, sama je. Kan? Screen tadi. Okay, ketiga, eligibility. So, eligible atau tidak paper tu. Sama je macam saya screening tadi. Okay. Lepas tu step 4, data abstraction and analysis. Sama je. Cuma dia pakai nama dia sebagai Prisma. Okay. Alright. Okay, sama je. Kalau tengok ada tak yang lain yang gunakan. Okay, kalau tengok yang ni, Umi ni dia pakai systematic literature ni, dia pakai searching procedure, screening. Dia macam saya. Tak, dia pakai ni. Yang ni dia pakai apa apa ni? Dia pakai apa? Dia tak ada pakai nama apa-apa lah, tapi dia pakai ikut mungkin macam ni lah, ikut saya kot. Betul lah, mapping. Okay. Lepas tu synthesizing. Sama, dia ikut saya. Okay, dia ikut saya tapi ikut style dia lah. Okay, kalau untuk contohnya yang ni. Okay, kalau yang ni seorang saya punya ni, Wan Nur Fazni ni. Okay, dia pakai dia pakai apa saya tak pasti. Dia tak pakai roses lah. Ke roses pun tak tahu. Dia tak pakai roses. Tapi nampak, dia mula-mula search process, study selection, okay, lepas tu inclusion and exclusion, okay, search process tu, okay, dia letak systematic, lepas tu dia letak terus dalam dia punya table. Okay. So dia ada berbagai jenis lah. So macam mana you nak pilih tu, itu bergantung lah kat you lah. Dan bergantung kat you macam mana you nak pilih. So, you pakai prisma ke, you nak pakai roses ke, you nak pakai yang saya pakai ke, kan pun boleh lah. Okay. Alright. Tapi kalau saya pakai tu tak adalah nama prisma ke roses, Adli lah, Nur Adli. Okay.
Okay.
So literature review, okay tak? Boleh faham?
Boleh faham.
Faham,
Okay.
faham.